What's up, Bankers?
Hello, Bankers.
How is everybody doing?
How are you doing? Are you enjoying your week off in between Baku and Singapore? Have you bought your tickets to our live show with Gunther Steiner? These are the important questions you must ask yourself. But we're going to be talking about so much on this episode today because Christian Horner might be back in Formula One next year. Fernando Alonso might be retiring from Formula One at the end of 2026. We're going to go into Mercedes falling on the sword for Kimi's slump after Toto Wolff said that he was underwhelmed 4 times after Monza. He's now saying, no, actually, it's not Kimi's fault. It's my fault. He probably listened to the pod and said, we got to do some damage control because I said I was going to protect this kid, and then I was out in the press talking wild shit. So I got to do that. We're going to discuss Yuki getting his groove back, Massa's lawsuit officially going through, and Max Verstappen just doing Max Verstappen things while Lando Norris just wants to have a nice and tidy and nice life where no one remembers him, as he said in Vogue. This is The Red Flags, brought to you by BetMGM. This is This Week in F1. I think we got to start with this Christian news.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting it's a bit of Voldemort. Right now he's at the back of the guy's head, but he's growing. He's coming back.
Yeah.
It's not yet.
Right.
It's not yet. A couple months ago, right, Harry Potter killed him. I don't know who Harry Potter is in this. Is it Marco? Is it Mekis? Got to be Mekis because he's got the glasses. But
right.
And now we're hearing that he might be at the back of the dude's, with who had the turban. What was his name?
Right.
Quirrell.
Yeah.
Quirrell.
Yeah.
That's what we're hearing. We're hearing that he might be coming back. That's what we're hearing.
Yeah, basically, they came to a settlement because Christian was signed on to be with Red Bull until 2030. So he had 5 more years on that deal. And there was a discussion because when it first happened, they were like, he's staying on. He's not going to be in that role, but he's still here. He's still in the family. And it was like, we all knew what was going on. He was going to be gone sooner rather than later. So they've come to this settlement over the remainder of his contract to the tune of $100 million. But also within that was the ending of his, or at least an end date for his gardening leave, which is midway through the 2026 season. So now the rumors are flying. Originally there was talk about him going to Cadillac, but now obviously people were pointing his relationship with Flavio Briatore, the chaos over at Alpine, but then now allegedly Haas is in the chat, dude.
Who said that? Who's saying that he's going to go to Haas?
People are saying it. It's part of the rumor mill.
Many people are saying that Haas would be a great place for Christian Horner. I don't see Haas. First of all, Gene Haas, he doesn't seem like he wants to sell. He would have to sell. He would have to give up equity.
You'd have to give him a piece.
You'd have to give him a piece. And it doesn't seem like Gene Haas is in the selling business.
Yeah, historically, that's not really been his vibe. He's like, I own this thing 100%. Me.
Yeah, me.
I think who knows? Maybe the Gene Haas of today is not the Gene Haas of yesterday, but it seems like what Christian wants, if he's going to come back, is that he wants to have an ownership stake. He wants to be in the conversation with the Totos and the Adrian Newey's of the paddock, where it's like, I'm not just an employee, because that's what, at Red Bull, as large as he loomed there, at the end of the day, he was an employee for the larger organization. And so I think that if when he wants to return, he wants to be, a made guy,
yes,
as opposed to just a hired hand.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, there's definitely like questions around where is that even possible, and it seems like the places where it's most possible are Alpine, maybe Aston Martin, because they've shown that they're like ready to do that, though his relationship with Newey is unclear. Because they've already thrown that at Newey. Whether they're going to throw even more of that at Christian, I think is very suspect. And then who knows? Maybe
an 11th team, or maybe an 11th team, or 12th,
or
team,
maybe an 11th team. That's right.
Yeah. So obviously, let's just go through it. McLaren out, Mercedes out, Ferrari out. I mean, Ferrari has cooled on the idea, and they're not giving him equity. Red Bull Racing obviously out. Williams out.
Yeah.
Racing Bulls obviously out. Aston Martin out. Kick Sauber out. So yeah, obviously the only two, Cadillac, probably not.
I think there were rumors about him going to Cadillac like around the time where this was announced, and so yeah, no, they're not, and they're not fucking with that. It seems like the only place where he really, because I don't think Haas is real. I think we said this with Gunter. I think the place where that makes the most sense for him is Alpine. Alpine's been like kind of a mess. It's like, what even is it? There seems to be a little bit of hesitancy about how into it this investment group really is. You know what I mean? It was like it came in with this like, we got these, look at the celebs, we're doing it. Yeah. But now they've been in last. They've been terrible. I think that team is the team on the grid that is the most up for sale.
Yeah, they've already
they've already
written outside Flash.
Right. I think they're doing tours. They're doing open houses of Alpine.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The question is can Flavio and Christian, I know they're buddies, but can they coexist? Can Flavio move over? We've already seen what happens with Christian and another ego like Helmet, right? Christian wants to be the big kahuna at this point in his life. He's proven enough. He doesn't, at this point in his career, with all he's accomplished, why does he want to answer to somebody? I think that's where he's at.
Remember when Toto said about Christian, he was like, he has nothing else. This is all he has.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And I think, that if he can be a part, that's kind of the difference of people, even like Adrian Newey, who owns a piece of, it's like when you own a piece of the team, your place within the team is actually somewhat a little bit irrelevant. If you own a piece of the team, you are serving the larger purpose that you own a piece of, as opposed to just like, I work for the place, and you can have as much kind of like, yeah, this is my vibe. I'm part of it too, but at the end of the day, as much as he was ingrained there, he's just an employee.
Right. I think what he probably deluded himself into thinking was that he was so ingrained in that system. Right. He was so integral into the growth of that team. He was their only team principal. He thought he was so entrenched.
Right.
And he thought he was irreplaceable, and now he's learned the hard way that he was replaceable.
Yes.
And he probably tricked himself into thinking, you don't need to be Toto Wolff to be irreplaceable. And now he's learned, oh fuck, it doesn't matter that I built this team from the ground up, and I've won like 900 world championships, and that I built this whole team from scratch. Like, unless I own a certain percentage of the team and I'm completely in charge and I have final cut, right, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Like, if Toto didn't own 30% of the team, I mean, I think we'd be questioning his job at this point, the way he's fucking been managing things. But no one's questioning it because he owns 30% of the fucking team.
Right. Well, speaking of Toto, there was obviously the Kimi Antonelli of it all has been a hot topic this year. We were early on the mismanagement of it. Now other people have caught on to it. But now there's been a change of tune because Mercedes says that it's not Kimi. It wasn't Kimi. It was us. There was a sim issue. That is the reason for Kimi Antonelli's struggles in the weeks before Baku. Mercedes has admitted a simulator failure disrupted Kimi Antonelli's preparation for the Zandvoort and Monza rounds. The simulator issues limited how much useful practice time he can do, and what he did do in the simulator used too much grip, making transition to the real track harder. As a result, he entered those weekends already at a disadvantage. So they own a bit of responsibility, says Andrew Shovlin. And his bounce back at Baku, they're saying, is because they worked that thing out. So can't tell exactly what this is. This was off of a report from the race. Every single comment was like, "This is such PR. This is like so obviously them like backtracking off of publicly criticizing him after Monza that they're now like taking it on the chest." But like, once you say it, it's out there.
Just pick one.
Right.
Apply the pressure or baby him. Like, what are you... You can't do both. You can't be like, he's got to step it up, or JK. You just look like a fucking idiot.
Well, it's like,
this is me in high school. This is me in high school. With me and my girlfriend, we're like breaking up at night, waking up in the morning, being like, what are we doing? I love you. Like, it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy behavior. It's crazy behavior.
Yeah. It's a lot of back and forth. It's like changing your major every 2 weeks. You're like,
yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah. We all know people that are like kind of like have a new career every 6 months. They're like new career uploading. Like I'm going to grad school, and actually I've quit grad school because I'm actually going to like sell my pottery online. Actually, just kidding. I'm going to join the military. It's like they changed it all the way, and I think this is what the discussion was after Monza when Toto came out with those harsh words and called him underwhelming 4 times in one sentence. That like. They seemingly made that decision, right? They had made that decision from Monza the previous year, from Monza last year, when he came in during FP1 and threw it into the barriers, and they were like, no, this doesn't change anything. We're still behind you 100%. And then, all of a sudden, they changed their tune, and now they're, like, going back, but it's like, no, you already showed me your ass. I can't unsee that now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, you got to just pick one. And then once you turn, you got to stay turned. It just makes it look like the whole thing is bullshit.
Right.
It makes it look like the whole thing is bullshit. And I don't believe anything you say anymore. You've kind of undermined your credibility. And it makes you look like you don't know what you're doing.
Which is
what you don't know what you're doing. Well, you don't have to agree with the decision, but you understand the logic and you understand that they made it. They've made a decision. Right. Whereas like this seems like they're just making a new decision every couple of weeks. Of like, they were like, this is the best way to handle Kimi Antonelli. And then they went, no, actually, this is the best way to handle Kimi Antonelli. Wait, no, never mind. This is the best way. I'm like, this is an 18-year-old kid's life that you're fucking dithering or fucking around with. Like, it's like, I get that, like, consistency. I'll say this: Ralph Waldo Emerson. I'm going to counter myself.
Counter myself. I love when you quote Emerson on the pod.
I've never done it. Consistency is the hobgoblin of small minds. Right? He said that. So like So you don't want to just do something. You want to have the courage to change your mind. Like if something isn't working, you don't want to just stick with something because you don't want to be inconsistent or you don't want to be a hypocrite or you don't want to go against like quote unquote your value. If something isn't working, like it's small-minded to just stick with it because you don't want to admit you were wrong. But to like zig, then zag, then zig again, then you like then you start to look like a fucking moron.
Right.
It's okay to zag, but then to zig again the next week, it's like, what are we doing? That's the thing. It's okay for Toto to change his mind, but then to change his mind again, it's starting to look amateurish. And the whole narrative with him the whole time was looking like it was impulsive. It was feeling impulsive, like he just couldn't wait to play with the new toy. The way he skipped F3, moved into F2, didn't sign Lewis for a long-term deal. Like he could have had Lewis for 3 years, and he could have given him the George Russell treatment, and this whole thing could have really been fucking the whole thing from soup to nuts. This whole time, there's been from the outside looking in. I don't know, but from the outside looking in, the whole narrative about I didn't get Max, and this is my Max, and like the whole thing feels impulsive. And look at how and then how he's been talking to Max, like it's like even that aspects of like that are like it's like a guy on the road, you're like driving on the highway, and it's like you can't. He's never in a single lane. You know what I mean? He keeps like changing lanes and slowing down and speeding up, and you're like, this guy's a chaos agent. This person's a chaos agent, and I think like that's what it seems like this last couple of years have really proven around. Not really. It feels like it's not really Mercedes-Benz. It feels like that's what Toto has kind of proven. And I feel like probably in his rise up through the ranks, it was like he was like Johnny consistent, but now it's like he's been so high up and things haven't been working that then he's like gotten into like, we just got to like keep throwing shit at the walls because like George is still not signed. George still has not signed his contract. And he said multiple times now, Toto, he's like, we don't do multiple year, like anything longer than 2 years. We do like 1+1s. And if you need a longer year contract, then that's on the driver. But like at a certain point, like this waffling back and forth is chaos, especially with both of them. Like both drivers, no one signed for next year. It's seemingly going to be just those two guys in the Mercedes car next year, and yet neither of them have a fucking contract. It's not like the Red Bull thing where it's like, the second seat's been chaotic, and obviously you can criticize how Red Bull's handled that second seat over the years. You can accuse them of a similar thing, but at least they're consistent with the one guy. Yeah.
They're always consistent with Max.
I guess signing Max till 2028 was a moronic choice by Red Bull. Like what?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Like, what are you talking about? And the thing is you could always, and Gunther talks about this, right? You could sign a guy to a multi-year deal and then just get rid of him, just pay him off. They'd look like that's what they did with Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah,
right? They signed him to a multi-year deal and he sucked, and they were like, "Fuck off."
They just paid Christian Horner $100 million. Yeah. Like these contracts don't mean anything. I mean, they mean money. Sure, they mean money.
Right?
But you're Mercedes-Benz. You have the money. You're Toto Wolff. You're a billionaire. You have the money to pay off, like, especially a kid like Kimi or even like George, like, because now George wants more money, but it's still not like, we're not talking about Max Verstappen or Lewis Hamilton money.
He wants Lando money.
Right.
He wants
Oscar
even still,
money. That's not as much as it, signing Max would be double that.
100, no, it'd be triple. It'd be like
triple.
At least.
No,
I mean, Max is looking 75 at least, I think. Like in the Lewis territory. So I mean, there's this like kind of move fast, break thing, Silicon Valley vibe with him. Also, did George? I know Kimi's a rookie. So it's a little not fair to make this comment, but I'm making it anyway. Was George's simulator broken as well?
Yeah,
like,
right.
What happened? Like, what was going on there?
George seemed to do pretty. Where did he?
Also,
George
the
got
other thing
in Monza, and George got fourth in Zandvoort.
Yeah, And here's the other thing I want to say. Like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, Kimi almost took George out. I mean, like, George is sick, right? He had a weekend from hell.
Yeah.
And then they're letting Kimi just fucking, like, push George. I mean, George had enough room, but, like, they threw George off the track, and then George had to fucking, like, you know, it made George's life so much harder. Like, why aren't they giving team orders at this point?
Right.
They're fighting for second. They're fighting. They could get second in the championship, and they're like letting Kimi fucking just throw his dick around with George right there. I know he's trying to get past the V-carb or whatever, but like, dude, what? George is the number one driver at this point. I get that Kimi's learning, but let him learn not around George.
Yeah. Right.
Can he learn not around George?
Let him take out Max in Austria.
Yeah.
Take out Max in Austria. Bankers, this season is heating up. Max Verstappen has entered the chat. Yuki Tsunoda is going to get a podium this year. Mark my words. And if you believe in that or your own theories about who's going to win each week, because now we really don't know who's going to be in that third position. We don't know where if Lewis Hamilton's going to get a podium this year. He's due. You can do all of that on BetMGM. And as you know, we've teamed up with BetMGM this season. We're using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks. And we'll have special offers for our listeners each week. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM, use bonus code DADDY, and you will get up to $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app and sign up using bonus code DADDY. You deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, any race, maybe Singapore, maybe Vegas, whatever you want. You will receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your first bet loses. Just make sure you use the bonus code DADDY when signing up. BetMGM. Make it legendary.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 for New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 for Massachusetts. 21 and over only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP for Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF for Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 for Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
And also, like, did they just discover this now? Why didn't they lead with that when he fucked up in Monza or Zandvoort? Why are we hearing about this now?
Because I think what this is like an excuse that after the comments from Toto in Monza and he had a good week in Baku, that they're kind of like, we need to do damage control on this. It feels very PR. It feels very, very, very PR. They're trying to put the genie, back in the fucking bottle.
Yeah, I wonder what part of the Harvard Business School this course is. It's like, so first you zig, then you zag, then zig again.
See, this is where I'm at. It's like we talked earlier about the like why you want to keep it consistent, or like no why what was the phrase? What was Emerson's phrase?
Consistency is the hobgoblin of small minds.
Okay, consistency is the hobgoblin of small minds. This is where I've changed my tune on James Vowles, because I was James Vowles' hater, and now I'm off of I'm off the James Vowles hate train, and I'm like, I believe that this guy, as cringy and as kind of like whatever that he is, like what he's done over there has been undeniably impressive. He made a kind of prop, as everyone was kind of like scheming for Carlos Sainz last year. He was able to get him because of the kind of vision of the future. And, even as much as we've trashed on Carlos Sainz this year, whatever, the podium is what the podium is. The car is what it is. And then honestly, I mean, it's kind of cutesy. It's kind of whatever, but there's a bit of like big brotherness to it. Do you see what Toto sent James after the podium?
Yeah.
He sent him like a little baggie, but it said like, you lucky bastard or something like that. Yeah. Called him lucky. And I know that they're friends. I know it's whatever, but like, let's be clear. Like, these guys are like, there's hierarchical aspects of it. Toto's big dog.
He sunned him. He sunned him.
He sunned him.
Yeah.
And it was like, he sunned him. And like, look at you, big. Oh, look at you. Oh, let me fix your collar, like big guy. We've seen that. Like that's how he can be with with Toto. He always tells Gunter that he's like stupid.
A troglodyte from the mountains.
But like, if I'm the Mercedes board at some point, I think to myself, let's get James Vowles running the ship here.
Yeah. I mean, James Vowles has been there since, maybe I need to take...
He was there before Toto.
You know what, Brian? I need to take my own Emerson quote.
Yes.
Because, Emerson, I read that poem, Self-Reliance, and it was a poem I read when I was like, my mom just doesn't understand me, But I need to take that quote to heart, and I mean the qualifying was lucky, but the car stayed ahead of fucking Ferraris and all those. I mean, the race pace was there, but I will say that maybe I think this James Vowles, I just find him like kind of cringy and he just doesn't shut the fuck up and just like. I just kind of hate his general vibe, but like he was there since the Braun days, and he's a real racer. And Toto is, he was kind of he was a driver and he didn't quite make it, so then he went into finance and then he bought his way back in. But James Vowles is like kind of he's a real racer. He's the truth. And I think maybe there's like an insecurity there on Toto's end that like, I mean, James really knows wheel from like an analytical standpoint. And that, honestly, James is doing more with less than Toto is. If we're just talking from a Brad Pitt Moneyballs situation.
Yeah.
There's that, and he's sunning him. Like, oh, good for you, little guy. And it's like, he's galvanized this team. And he wooed Carlos Sainz. He's got everybody pulling in the same direction. It's almost like he's like this English fucking cringy ass Ted Lasso thing going on at Williams.
Dude, he is the Ted Lasso of Formula One.
He's the Ted Lasso he's the English Ted Lasso.
Dude,
he's just like
you
he's a dorky
can't you
English
see
Ted Lasso.
James Vowles coming in and like bringing cookies that he made at the house?
Yes,
and everyone like loves them. And he's just like, that's just the way we do it at home. That's just how we make them.
and you think
it's like. Yeah.
And the way Carlos Sainz stood him up at Drive to Survive.
Right.
You think Toto Wolff would have stood for that? Toto Wolff would have been like, are you fucking... He's like, James Vowles was like, well, James Vowles like ate so much shit.
Right.
He held Carlos's purse.
He put his ego to the side. Yeah.
And he just he just put out positive vibes and ate shit and, let Carlos Sainz talk about his exes at Ferrari.
Yeah, yeah.
And how amazing.
And he'd say, that sounds tough. That sounds tough.
Yeah.
Because that's Ted Lasso's gift, right? Is that he's like, even when people are rude to him, he can like understand why,
Yeah.
But like, that's just the way, And you have some like little witty phrase about like why people do what they do, like your phrase that you just quoted, And I think, I think, I do. And hey, everyone, come in here for a picture. They're taking selfies. Everyone's like,
he's doing the selfies. They're all jogging together. They're all doing like they're all exercising together in their fucking little spandex.
Yeah, he really is like,
biking with everybody.
That everyone was like rolling their eyes when he first like suggested doing all that shit. All the like kind of like bitter, hardened F1 people when he was like, and we are going to go on a jog today as a company.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Now they're like, hey, I'm starting to believe.
Yeah. He's making all the dad jokes and
ducks fly together.
He's clearly, I mean, I think they're probably going to nab fifth to my absolute horror, they're going to get fifth.
To your horror. But you know what? It's never too late. You can always come over to the side because consistency is the hobgoblin.
He might win me over. I mean, I have to abide by the Emerson quote. Honestly,
that's right. All right, let's keep it rolling. Venkas, when was the last time you had a root beer? After a long day, you crack one open. It's basically lights out and away we go for your taste buds, which is why this episode is brought to you by our friends at Mug Root Beer. Let's hear that crack. Oh, how good is that? Oh my God. It tastes so good. It's nostalgia on your taste buds. It makes me feel like I'm watching Senna Prost, not Norris and Piastri. It makes me feel like I'm watching good old classic Formula One because let's be honest, Formula One, you need that dog in you. You need that dog in you, and these McLaren boys need to get that dog in them because they're playing a little bit too nice right now. And when you drink that mug, woo, baby, you got that dog in you. So next time you are craving something cold, frothy, and packed with unapologetic flavor, crack open a Mug Root Beer. Find Mug at your local store or head to mugrootbeer.com/find-mug to see what you can get your paws on some. And while you're at it, throw them a follow at Mug Root Beer and show off your own #Mug moment. Oh, get that dog in you. Yuki Tsunoda, baby. Let's chat about him. Everyone's talking about how he's done. That he's done, dude. That he's out of here. That Isaac Hadjar is a done deal. But
yeah,
little do they know, I think Yuki may have turned a little corner here in Baku. Think the corner was turned. And basically, there's a bit of story that's come out now that Yuki canceled a vacation to put an extra time in the sim, which has been contributing to his most recent successful run. After the poor weekend of the Hungarian Grand Prix, Tsunoda canceled his summer vacation and instead returned to the UK to work in the Red Bull simulator. His goal was to figure out handling issues with the RB21 and improve consistency. He asked for extra simulator sessions after the Italian GP. He locked in a change that significantly improved how the car felt. And in Baku, he described his performance after having never experienced that level of pace. Everything, quote, everything makes sense now.
Yuki can see the Matrix.
Dude, this second Red Bull seat has plagued everyone that's driven in it. And I'm like, dude, if Yuki there's 6 races left, right? 6 or 7. How many races are left? 7 races left.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If Max, I see this, here's the crazy part. If Max is going to win this championship, he's going to need some motherfuckers to get in the way.
Yeah.
And if Yuki can actually figure this, if Yuki's actually figured something out with this thing, and this Red Bull has made improvements as it maybe looks like they have. Call me Delulu. I just think that if there's a couple races where Yuki can get in between him and Oscar and Orlando, and Max can charge this, make this comeback, and Yuki can be a part of it. That's the way that he keeps this seat. He's going to have obviously an amazing last quarter of the season, but I think he can do
2 podiums. He needs 2 podiums.
2 podiums.
2 podiums, I think, is enough. Yeah. I think the qualifying pace is getting closer.
Yeah.
I think the race pace wasn't amazing in Baku. We have to see.
I mean, Baku was a little bit that shit people barely moved in Baku. I mean, it was kind of a bit of a procession. I saw some thing where they just showed who was where, and the only times where people were even moving was when there was pit stops or overcuts and undercuts. It was, that race was a bit of the snoozer element of it was, but hey, Lando couldn't get past him.
It's true. Yeah. maybe that's you shouldn't really judge him on his race pace compared to the guy Max, who's in clear air or whoever. Yeah, you're right.
So you think he needs 2 podiums?
Got to have 2 podiums.
Where,
if Max is
where can
Max
he do
is,
that?
Vegas.
Mexico. They should be really good in Vegas based on what we've seen
Mexico, Coda. He's got to have at least 2 podiums. He's got to be on that fucking podium. He's got to be split. He's got to be splitting those McLarens at least.
Yeah, it's a tall order. That's a tall.
I know,
order.
but that's he doesn't really give himself much choice. He's got to close this bitch out.
Right.
I don't. 1 podium's a fluke. 2 podiums, it's like, okay, he's figured it out.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
I'm having visions of grandeur, dude.
2 podiums, or 2 podiums or 1 race win. One like, holy shit, he put it on pole.
Know what I want? Even more than that? I'm like, not even a race win. He's in first. Max is in second, and he gives Max the position. How about that? Ultimate selfless. That's how you make sure that you're in that team for a long time. And then you can have your wins down the line. How about that? I
don't think he'd do it.
Okay, we've fully entered Lululand now.
No, I think he would say he'd say I need a 3-year deal by the next pit stop that I sign. Or I'm not
negotiating his contract from the cockpit.
3 years, $15 million. I'm not giving the place back.
Yeah. Well, okay. We're talking about the championship. We're talking about where things stand. Obviously now, I mean, at this point, I'm just actively rooting for Max to win this championship.
Of course.
Because this year has been so not satisfying watching these races and watching this McLaren battle that, like, I think that a bunch of people have been turned, like, even Max haters. Do you know that woman who does Podium Sundays? She does, like, it's just the voiceover. She's on, like, TikTok and Instagram. She just does voiceover. And even she was like, how has this McLaren battle turned me into a Max Verstappen fan? Like, I am actively rooting for Max Verstappen. She's not a Max fan, but, like, this championship and the papaya rules have been so unsatisfying to watch as a fandom that, like, now that Max is kind of like, you know that he's just gonna fucking go for it, and if he can make that charge, you're just gonna get thrilling racing. That, like, at this point, you have to be at least rooting for him to, like, get in there.
You have to.
Right?
You have to. I don't think people appreciated Max for his greatness and his commitment. And
yes.
I don't think people appreciated that. And I think the papaya rules and the politics and the bit of hot potato that that Lando and Oscar have been playing with this championship have kind of been unsatisfying to people, and the sort of PR game that the two have been playing.
Yes,
which I think largely is not really their fault. I think Lando's a nice guy. I think Oscar's close to the chest, just who they are as people, and that's not bad. That's not an indictment on them, but it's just sucks for box office.
Right.
You know, and I think also McLaren wants them, telling them to lean into that, right? They're keeping a leash on them in that way. So that's incredibly unsatisfying. And I think Max is a guy that just goes for it and is and leaves no crumbs, right? He I don't know. I mean, should we get into this now? I think we talked about this on the Patreon, which is I really want to discuss this because honestly, like, Oscar has this sort of ironic thing kind of going for him where he keeps everything close to the vest. He's kind of got this anti-charisma. People kind of ascribe this Kimi Räikkönen thing to him. Whereas like
Yep.
I actually think them and Kimi Räikkönen are very different. Like Kimi Räikkönen like didn't give a fuck. He partied.
Right.
He drank. He was kind of grumpy. He was Finnish, right? That was kind of his.
Yes.
That was Oscar cares a lot.
Yes.
Oscar gives like a lot of fucks. They're just different. They're not the same. The phenotype is the same, but the genotype is different. If that makes any sense, the DNA is different. It might display itself similarly, but they're really just completely different people. But Lando, you know, he has the chance to like take F1 by the neck.
Yes.
And run with it. He really, because he has the charm of a Lewis Hamilton. He's got the looks. He's got the charm. He's got the style. He's got the swag. He's got the talent. He's got it all, right?
Yeah.
He's got the passport to do it, right? And he has this, and he does this. Is it the GQ? What was it? Vogue?
No,
what was
Vogue,
it?
British Vogue.
British Vogue.
Vogue UK.
Okay.
British Vogue.
Okay. So, and he talks about like how, and we discussed this on the Patreon, but I thought about it some more. He talked about how, having I'm paraphrasing here, but he talks about how, having a good life, being happy was his first priority, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm paraphrasing. He didn't exactly say that, but that's roughly what he said. And that winning a championship was his second priority.
Right.
Right. Now, and we talked about that, like, on Patreon, we were honestly more measured about it. We were saying, actually, that's healthy, blah, blah, blah. And, he had this very philosophical view, like in 100 years, no one's going to give a shit, right?
Right.
You got to love that was actually very philosophical, that you got to kind of have to love the process. Like no one's going to care who won the championship 100 years from now. So like, I got to just like enjoy my life because that's the only thing that no one's going to take away from me is experience. And in a lot of ways, that's kind of like a healthy outlook, right?
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it some more. If I'm like fixing this guy's car till 2 a.m. and I read that, or I'm hey, by the way, working on his pit stops, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and I'm just saying, like, his first priority is to, like, have fun, have a good time. Like, and I'm supposed to, like, rally. It's a team sport. This guy isn't Kyrgios, right? Where it's just, it's not really an individual sport at the end of the day. These are a factory of thousands of people.
Right.
It's like a 1,000-person organization. Like, you read that, and then your army of fans are like showing up to support you, and this is your second priority. It's a little bit like, and then to contrast that with Max, right? Max who will fucking risk his life to win. Like, those, like, his mechanics are going to burn the midnight oil. His mechanics are going to do everything they can to make sure his pit stop goes well. What does he do? He lives it. It was kind of hilarious when he seemed out of the championship. But now it's even funnier because he might win the championship and he's still doing this GT bullshit.
Right.
Like, he cares so much. Like when you write, when in screenwriting, it's like when you're, and I'm sure in acting, right? When you're creating a character that you, when they teach us how to create characters, they say, who is your character? The first thing they ask you is, who is he or she? And they say, what do they want? You have to give them a compelling want.
Well, there's a few things there because it's what do you want? And this is, I remember I watched, if you can find the Podium Sunday like analysis of this, because she talks about this exact thing. And she talks about the difference. It's like, there's what do you want and what are you willing to do to get it?
Yes.
Right? And what Lando's two biggest wants are opposing, because he wants to be happy, he wants to have a good time, and he wants to win a championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And often, those two wants have different things that you have to do in order to get there. And we talk about Nico Rosberg a lot, right? Nico Rosberg, I think in a lot of ways, is a Lando Norris. and he, I think like had a love for it. But even when we talked, with Jacques Villeneuve, and he was kind of like, he won his title and then he retired. Like, what was he really like? A racer through and through, if that's what you did. And I think when you look back at that 2016 season, Nico Rosberg, and he talks about this when he talks about like how he adjusted his sleeping schedule and he did all this stuff to make sure that he was optimized for every weekend so that he could like be the best that he could possibly be, because he knew that if he was going to beat Lewis Hamilton, he was going to have to do these things that he didn't want to do, or like the things that he had to do to get there were not necessarily the things that were like coincided with like, Monaco-based vlogger Nico Rosberg, who wants to just kind of like chat shit and have a good time. You know what I mean? And he had to dig deep and do all these other things in order to get to the top of the mountain. And then he got to that top of the mountain and he said, you know what? I don't think I can fucking do that again. And to his credit, he was like, I can't do that anymore in order to reach that goal. So I'm out, and now I can have a good time, and now I can be happy.
That might be what he should be doing. And that might be what Lando should fucking kill himself and then get out.
Right.
Because this could all be done by the time he's 30.
Right. And I think this is a little bit of the like, and you know what? Like, and as much as it's like this was a bit of our struggle with Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah.
Right? Was just like a little bit of like one of our first episodes ever was like Daniel Ricciardo is too much to live for. Daniel Ricciardo's life was too cool, and Daniel Ricciardo was like too awesome in order to maybe make some of those like, I have to do X, Y, or Z in order to get to the top of this mountain, that I think when the fame aspect of it comes in, and when you start like everyone starts treating you some type of way, and you're making a ton of money and you're famous and you have brand deals and all this stuff starts tacking on top of it, you say to yourself like, well, why would I go that extra mile or, do that extra workout class? It's like everyone faces these moments in their life, right? Things get hard and you think like, how much do I really, It's like, I want a six, like in theory, I want a six pack, baby. Like I want to lose weight, right? I'm trying to slim down. I'm trying to get ripped. Like in theory, I want that. But then it's just like when I make a decision to have that extra bag of chips, or when I make a decision to not really push myself in the gym, it's like, how much do I actually want those things? I think that's what you're going to with Lando is like, how much, what you say you want and what you actually, like, it's in your actions. And I think we've maybe seen these aspects of where like Lando doesn't go that extra mile or doesn't do that extra bit of thing. So then it's like, do you even really want this or not?
Well, and I think a lot of his fans are like, that's why they like him, is that he's got that balance. But I think the average person, that we don't root for, you don't watch. You don't watch The Lion King being like, wow, I hope that Simba finds like the work-life balance, like the balance. Right, like, I hope he's happy too. You're like, no, he's got to avenge his father and become fucking king. It's like a very compelling mission. You don't fucking, like you want a character that's fucking driven. Like, that's why we tune into drama. Like, This is not, to us, it's not real life. I think it's like kind of parasocial to be like, well, I hope Lando's like also happy in his personal life. Like, no, like, and then this idea that like, well, I hope they're like you want like these are our heroes, right? We want them to go for shit, and I think that it's interesting, and I think like what you were saying about getting the six pack and the Daniel Ricciardo, getting success. My girlfriend was watching the Charlie Sheen documentary.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, the series, and I was like kind of glancing at it. I was like checking in and out. Like there were moments where I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I was like, that's not interesting. But he said something very profound where he was like, as a kid, your parents prepare you for failure. At first you don't succeed, try and try again. He was like,
right.
But growing up, nobody prepares you for success. Nobody's like, and when you do succeed, by the way, this is what you do. Like nobody, like growing up, nobody told me like, oh, you're going to be a fucking movie star that's making, nobody told me that was going to happen. So I think there's this, when you're a kid, they teach you like, oh, you better try hard. Like maybe you'll make it. And then when you do make it and all this shit comes your way, And that's very hard to metabolize when you're Lando Norris, runt of the litter,
Right.
And then now you're a fucking superstar, sex symbol, making your own money, being in GQ. Like, it's very hard. It's very hard.
But let's also be kind of clear about a couple things too. I'm obviously not in his head, but he might be wrestling with this like happiness to success back and forth, right? But when he thinks about his life as a Formula One driver, winning championships is what you dream of. And I think that maybe this aspect of like, I just want to be happy, it feels a little bit like a defense mechanism. It's a little bit of a defense because I think like to do what Nico Rosberg did is like a hugely humbling experience. To kind of admit that you don't have like the raw stuff, that you have to like go above and beyond and do all this extra shit that maybe the people around you aren't doing. But I need to go above and beyond. I need to fall asleep at 4 p.m. in order to not be jet lagged when I fly to Abu Dhabi. I need to, be like with the sports psychologist, doing all this extra shit and be antisocial and adjust my life in all these ways to really try in order to get to this feat. I think is like a kind of humbling experience because you then have to admit to yourself on some level that like, you just as you are right now isn't cutting it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think it's like we talked about this on the Patreon, but I think what you're a little to piggyback on what you're saying, it's a bit like I think he does want to win the championship, but I think maybe in his mind, part of it, maybe I'm giving him more credit, but I think maybe in his mind, like he needs to take the pressure off of himself. So. If he treats it more like, oh, I just want to have fun, not be so focused on the results, he'll actually perform better. And that's like something,
yes, maybe.
You and I, as artists, you and I have had to have that sort of like, well, we can't be focused on the results, right? All we could do is our best, right?
Right.
Like all you can do is be like, well, I'm going to try to crush my audition and not like if I get it, I get it. If I Like you can't be like, I have to book this role. Like that's useless.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You have to just be like, I have to do my best in this audition. And to be focused on the result is kind of dumb. Now, and I think Lando is in this sort of great thing that I've talked about before, which is like one of my favorite experiences in college was reading the Iliad, which is like, or if you've seen Troy, which is like a dope fucking movie, is Achilles or Brad Pitt is torn between two sort of poles, right? He's been given this prophecy where he can go to Troy, fight, and be a legend and die young.
Right. Yes.
Or he can go home and live a long, happy life, but be forgotten. Right. So it's like that choice between fucking like glory and happiness.
Right.
And that's like what makes this sport so compelling is like you're watching a guy in fucking real time wrestle between like glory and happiness. And right now he's like, I'm kind of leaning happiness over glory.
But I guess my question would be, why does one have to negate the other? That would be my question for him. Is
the Greeks felt Homer. That's Homer. That's what it is, bro.
I guess I'm like,
does Elon Musk seem like a happy guy? Does Donald Trump seem like a happy guy? Does Mark Zuckerberg? Do any of these people? Does anybody that achieves anything fucking? I mean, that's what these stories are all about, right? I mean, maybe in real life it's different, but like Citizen Kane, right? Any of these stories about fucking anybody who achieves
there are
anything.
Examples of these, but I understand. I obviously, like on a Greek level, it is very powerful. And I think that pull can feel like that. I mean, we look back to Hungary last year where I was like, Lando should have gone. Like that was the moment, right? where he could have said, no, fuck you. I have a chance for the championship, so I'm going to betray myself, right? And that's, I think, what he maybe feels like is like the option is that like you have to become Max, you have to be this like savage in order to like achieve what you want to achieve, and like you have to do all this stuff in order to get there. But like, I mean, even in like basketball, you look at the Michael Jordans and maybe the Kobe Bryants of the world who are like on one side of the coin of like, you have to be a fucking psycho in order to like get done what you need to get done. Then you have a guy like LeBron, who honestly like is a little bit more in the middle. Like LeBron's like, I think wants to be happy. He's like it's like he wants to be happy. He's got his ego, but like he's already like, I'm the greatest and I'm great and all this stuff. But he doesn't necessarily have the like, I have to like.
When he went to Miami, he was a fucking psycho.
Yes.
He went through a phase where he was a fucking psycho.
And now he's back to like, it's all good. Like, we're all chilling.
Yeah.
But then, you look at like a guy like, I don't know.
That
he
went Vettel. He went Vettel. He was a killer. You look at a guy
like Steph Curry, right? Like, I feel like Steph Curry like has that like psycho in him, but seems to be a pretty like happy, well-balanced person. And like, now he's at the end of his career. He's kind of softened.
Steph is an alien.
But, like, you can be that. You can, like... But more than Steph's an alien, like, Steph is obviously, like an amazing shooter, but, like, in terms of attitude, in terms of, like, you know... Steph had, like, kind of, like, happy-go-lucky vibes, but could still be a killer and could still, like, dedicate himself in a way that was kind of, like, as intense as anyone else.
Magic Johnson.
And be balanced and be happy. And we've seen it even with, like, you have plenty of time to be happy. I guess that's how I feel. And as a Lando fan, I do read something like this, and I'm like, yeah, like, in theory, I get this, but, like, this is your time. This is your chance. And, like, not everything has to be on your, like, and then life is, going for happiness is a foolish endeavor, I believe. Happiness is fleeting. Being happy is like, what even is that? What even is happiness? I found in my life that in times where I was like trying to be happier, why aren't I happy? I was like, I would make myself feel worse because I'm like, I feel bad right now. But having purpose in my life has given me degrees of satisfaction that leads to a higher level of like base level happiness. And I think that like sometimes Lando, it seems like in these interviews, is like, I just want to be happy, I think is like the wrong way of looking at life for anyone. I want to be satisfied in my work. I want to be like have strong relationships with the people around me. I want to like these more like tangible things might lead to a base, like a wider range of quote unquote happiness. But like going for happiness, I think on some level it's like, if he looks back in however many years and say, like, I didn't really go for it when I had the chance to go for it, like, at that time where I was really in the crucible of that might bring him large degrees of unhappiness later. That doesn't mean he has to betray his sense of, like, who he is as a person. But I think he's holding on to that. That's what this article, because the longer I've sat with it, too, the more it's also kind of bothered me. I'm just kind of like... I think he's looking at this thing very black and white in a way where like it doesn't need to be, and like you can make these sacrifices now because like if there's ever a time to make the sacrifices, now is the time. All us in life have times where it's time to cut out the shit and make the sacrifice and get the thing done. And then life is so fucking long. You have plenty of time to be on YouTube and hanging out with your friends and doing all this stuff. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah. And honestly, Max seems happy.
Because I think Max is really satisfied with who he is. Like Max, like, you know,
he has purpose.
One of the hardest things in life is to like look back at something and be like, I didn't really give it my all. It's like I could have done more. I could have like, because you can't get that time back.
Yeah.
You can't get that time back. And even if it was difficult in the moment, you can look back on it and say, like, I really fucking... And maybe that's what Lando said. You know, he's trying to be like, it wasn't a disappointing weekend. Like, I gave it my best. I tried my best, and that's all I can do. And maybe that's the attitude that he's having with it. But, like, if not, having the number one goal to be winning a championship now, right now, then when?
Yes.
Now's the time to seize the day, as they said in Newsies.
Yeah, you can slack in 2020, like literally next year when the McLaren is not in the running. You could
just be
literally
chilling,
slack.
baby.
Yeah.
And it'll make your already awesome celebrity life that much more awesome if you fucking win a WDC. Like, everything that's about your life that you like, that's cool, is only going to get better if you win fucking WDC. Anyway, all right, we've spent long enough on this. Speaking of a guy who, like, you know, talk about the happiness, talk about just doing what you want to do and having that freedom. Max Verstappen, in the midst of his fucking title battle, is doing a fucking race at the Nürburgring. Bankas, it's officially fall, and you know what that means? It's time to cook up some juicy, juicy steak, which is why I'm so glad that this episode is brought to you by our friends at Omaha Steaks. Omaha Steaks gives you high quality, amazing, amazing meat delivered right to your door so you can have restaurant level steak, filet mignon, ribeye, but you can have it in the comfort of your own home at the fraction of the cost. I love me some Omaha steak. Right now I'm in California, but before I left, I was in New York, where I never cook. And I certainly don't cook steak when I'm there. With Omaha Steaks, I got them right in my freezer. I let them thaw, and I had a filet mignon that made me think to myself, why would I ever go to a steakhouse when I could have it right at home? What do they say? It's like, why pay for the thing when you have the milk? Why pay for it when you have the milk at home? Whatever. I say that about not only my partner, I say that about my steak as well. And I do that with Omaha Steaks. They offer unrivaled quality and variety, and every bite is backed by 100% guarantee. Right now, it's the perfect time to stock up with the exceptional handcrafted flavor and convenience of Omaha Steaks. So get fired up for fall grilling with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide, plus their red hot sales event. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code FLAGS at checkout. That's 50% off at omahasteaks.com, and add an extra $35 off with promo code FLAGS at checkout. That is a great deal. You're going to get amazing steaks for an absolute fraction of the cost. So get on it right now. See site for details. Max is racing at the Nürburgring, this time in a GT3 event. It's a 4-hour endurance race. After earlier in the month, he participated in a Porsche GT4 at the Nürburgring to get his license in order to race in these things. Because I think this has obviously been on Max's kind of like radar. He has his team with Verstappen.com, isn't it?
VerstappenRacing.com or something.
VerstappenRacing.com.
Yeah.
And because, I think because he gets such pleasure and joy out of racing, that he's doing these like extracurriculars in the midst of the season.
Brian,
with
this
a baby
is like
in his house.
Brian, this is like if Timothy Chalamet went and did experimental theater. You're like, wow, this guy fucking loves. He did something like Bertolt Brecht, off Broadway. And you're like, God damn it, this guy loves acting.
Yeah.
He cannot get enough. He just went from doing a Spielberg movie to fucking Hamlet machine. Just what are we this guy is addicted.
Yeah.
This guy can't get enough.
Yeah, it's like if fucking LeBron James was like, I'm just gonna go play at
Rucker
I'm
Park.
just gonna go to I'm just gonna go to West 4th Street and play some pickup basketball for the summer.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go compete in this league over here. He's he truly marches to the beat of his own drum, Max. Certainly no one in his life wants him to be doing this other than Red Bull, the entire Red Bull organization is like, what is he doing in these cars that are probably more dangerous
In the most
drive
dangerous track in the world, probably.
at the most dangerous track in the world that used to be a Formula One track, and then they were like, no, not anymore. The track where Toto Wolff fucking
Broke his
crashed
neck.
and fucking almost died at this track.
Yeah.
Like, you know that, like, Kelly Piquet, they have a baby. They just had a baby. Kelly Piquet is like, what are you doing? Why are you going to the fucking Nürburgring on your week off?
Yeah. Yeah.
The only people that want him to do this are like him and Yas.
Yeah.
Yas and Max are like pumped about this. I guarantee everyone else is like, okay, yeah, Max.
And whoever gets paid to do it.
Oh, well, sure. Yeah. The
Verstappenracing.com people are stoked.
Dude, and the GT3. I think when he was, I think they did some like the numbers of when he did the GT4 to get his license because he participated in this race. I think the numbers were like, 100x what they normally are. I think they were like, we have like 1 million people watching this live when normally it's like 15,000 if they're lucky. And it was like Max Verstappen is like, like stinking it up because he was in like a way less powerful car because there's a bunch of different classifications within this thing. Like you watch him on the opening because he qualified really well. If you watch the opening, like the start of the race,
he sinks like
everyone
a stone.
is just like breezing by him. He looked like Piastri in Baku.
Yeah,
just because he's doing it for the love of the game.
Yeah, it's amazing to watch a guy who loves it that much and is that driven and wants it that bad.
Right. And I think it's interesting just to pivot off of this, and I don't know how much, we can get to maybe some other stuff, but this is an interesting topic. Now we've got these three guys, the Piastri, Lando, and Oscar. I guess we've discussed Lando now. We've discussed Max at length over the years, but this weekend kind of like getting into that. Where do you think Oscar sits within this kind of like this spectrum? Where is he at? Because he's such a hard book to read. Obviously he cares. Obviously he's like pretty singularly focused. But he's a hard book to read sometimes. What do you think? Like what makes him tick? What gets him fucking up in the morning? Why is this thing? Why greatness? Why Formula One? You know what I mean? Like, what is it?
I don't think we know as much about him. I think on a surface level, he wants to win the championship. I think his first priority is winning the championship.
Yes.
I don't think.
Yes.
I don't think if he did a GQ or Vogue Australia, he'd be like, it'd be number one priority, win the championship.
Yeah.
There is no number two priority.
Right.
He doesn't really post that. We don't really get a window in so much into
right.
What he's into.
Even Nicole, I think, is like, I don't get him either, dude.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't fucking know either. But it's interesting, when thinking about like how you support someone, right? Like, what do you latch on to?
Yeah.
And it's interesting. Like, what about Oscar? What is there? What are you latching on to as you're looking at him and supporting him?
I think I latched on to his unflappability, the sort of the whiplash you get from him compared to everybody else.
Right.
I mean, it's the same thing. Honestly, it was the same thing that drew us to Gunther, right? Like,
sure, yeah.
Like, no, because like Gunther in a vacuum, you're just like, oh, that's a fun guy, that's an interesting guy. But like, Gunther, like, what made Gunther a star was that you see Toto Wolff, you see Christian Horner, you see Ferrari, you see all these like very polished, very corporate people, and then you see Gunther, and you're like, he's hilarious, right? Because he sticks out. Oscar is great because you put him next to Lando Norris, and it's it's hilarious. It's refreshing, right? You put him next to Leclerc, right? You put him next to Matt. You put him next to these people who are very colorful and emotional and hysterical over every little thing, and then it's like it's interesting. And I think it's the whole thing is like the whole idea of F1 is escapism, right? You're literally escaping to this exotic world filled with millionaires and everybody's hot and rich, and you're latching onto things that are kind of escapist. And I think the thing that's escapist for me is that this guy, he just fucking never, he's a Terminator. He never quits. He never gives up. He never gets flustered. He just rides everything. He never gets hassled or rattled. And that's something I think, as we all experience the vicissitudes of life, I think we could all admire that about somebody.
Sure. I guess it's interesting, like after this last week where he did seemingly get rattled, and we were joking on the podcast. You're like, I didn't sign up for this. Not what I signed up for.
Yeah.
I think, like, if anything, to me, this last week gives me even more stuff. Like, I have now more things to latch onto with Oscar because I'm like, oh, he's human. Like, he's like, I'm kind of clinging to. I'm trying to find like a pocket where I can. It's like you're rock climbing. You're trying to find a foothold with him, and sometimes I'm just like, yeah, like I can recognize that this rock doesn't look like all the other rocks here. Where
it's obsidian. It's obsidian to you. It's just smooth, and there's no place where you could stick your foot. But I think what's interesting is, like you said, what's really admirable about Oscar is not that he's perfect. It's like, if you remember Australia?
Yeah.
He fucking completely blew it in his. I mean, that was a really tough race, but he blew it, and then he came back the next week,
right?
And he turned it around, and he actually had a nice little run on Lando there. So
right.
I think it's it's not about how you fall; it's about how you get back up. And I think, hopefully we'll get to see how he turns it around. And I think you have to. I also, the whole thing with fucking the whole Alpine thing, I thought was so awesome.
Of course.
How he's just the whole idea that I'm going to fucking break up with Alpine, do the tweet, go to McLaren, which was the ballsiest move you could fucking do. Is like
crazy.
So like after what happened to Daniel Ricciardo, replace Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah.
Go head to head with Lando Norris, who we thought was like going to just destroy anybody at that point.
Right.
And now
had just ruined Daniel
Ricciardo's career. Just ripped like a gorilla ripped Daniel Ricciardo's face off. Like to go in there being like, yeah, I'm going to be his teammate. It's just the height, like the absolute ego of that.
Right.
And in your third year, you're basically neck and neck with him while beating him in the World Championship. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's an incredible achievement. And
I think,
and obviously his mom,
right.
His mom is a dear friend of ours.
Yeah, she's daddy of the pod. I think the thing that gets me kind of excited about the Max of it all is that I think that Oscar has a lot in him. Oscar's got like more to give. Do you know what I mean? Like I think like Oscar's unflappability, Oscar's kind of stuff is. I want him to be put to the test, and right now he's like kind of being put to the test in this weird way that's not his specialty, right? It's like behind the scenes, it's political. Politics. It's all this like other shit that's like not the realm that he wants to play in.
Mark Webber is being put to the test right now.
Right, Mark, and honestly, like even when you look at like the Alpine thing, like that's not. I mean, like that's Mark Webber's doing. Like you should be like, and Mark Webber crushed. I mean, obviously Oscar had his point to play in that, but what's been the most exciting bits of Oscar that I've seen is like when he just like went after Max in Saudi Arabia, turn one. And when he's just like shown that like he'll just stick his fucking nose in there. And I think this year and the papaya rules and all the fucking shit, like don't race him too hard. It was a little bit Oscar was a little bit like, it was a little too close for comfort there, babe. Like let's roll it back. Like I kind of like we've seen Lando go against Max. and that's not. And we know how that kind of shakes out. And of course, like I hope that Lando can like step up to the plate more. But like I want to continue to see Oscar against Max because Max is one of these guys. Like Max is really who you set yourself up against. Everyone is kind of hitting against the wall that is Max.
Yeah.
He's the yardstick. And I think the thing that like when I get excited about the idea of like Max making a comeback is almost the idea of like I want to see how Oscar responds to that because I think there's more juice in that fruit of Oscar that we're not seeing yet, and Max will bring it out.
Well, yeah. I mean, the problem is I think the Oscar and Lando are getting in each other's way, but I think
yes,
Oscar. I don't think this is controversial. I think Oscar is probably a better would be he's just a ballsier fucking head-to-head racer.
Totally.
And he wouldn't. I've just seen Max bully Lando too much.
Right.
Whereas,
and Oscar's like not allowed to do that because of the papaya rules. Oscar's not allowed to bully Lando. Like they're not allowed to bully each other. But like we want to see these kids in the fucking yard wrestling with each other. We want to see them fighting. So that's where I'm like, I just need once Max gets in there, it's kind of like you're watching kids like play fight. You know what I mean? And then Max is gonna get in there and be like, I'm ready to run some motherfuckers over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's just starting to actually fight people.
There's this great story about Kobe Bryant in the Olympics, and Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol were teammates for years on the Lakers, and now it's the Olympics, and they're playing against Spain. The USA is playing against Spain, so they're now on opposite sides. Kobe's obviously playing for the USA. Pau Gasol's playing for Spain. And Kobe, and they're like really good fucking friends.
Yeah.
And Kobe goes to, I think LeBron or Dwayne Wade or like a couple of them, and he goes, I'm going to run through Pau Gasol like play one. Like if they set a screen, I'm just going to run straight through him. And they're like, okay, like, sure, like, LOL, like, lol, Kobe. Play one happens. Kobe's like running through a screen. Pau Gasol sets a screen, and Kobe just like fucking trucks him. I mean, like an NFL tackle, like just trucks him. And Pau Gasol's like, "What the fuck was that, dude? Like, dude, I do Thanksgiving at your house. Like, what the fuck?" And Kobe's like, "We're not, no. Like, this is different. Like, we're competing. We're like." And I think there's a relishing. I know we're going on and on, but like this year's been confounding for me. I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at? And I don't think that that's Kobe being an asshole. I think that's like Kobe relishing in the competitive space, right? Between these lines, I get joy out of like the raw competitiveness, and that I can leave this stuff outside and actually, there's this movie that's coming out. There's this movie that's coming out about this UFC fighter with The Rock. That the Safdie brothers, Ben Safdie.
No, just one of them. Yeah.
Just what Ben is doing it. The other brother is doing the ping pong movie, and they're warring on the public stage. Anyway. And The Rock's like in the waiting room, and his eyes are all black and blue, and she's like, "What is it?" He goes, "Have you heard of the Ultimate Fighting Championship?" And they're like, "That's the thing they're trying to ban." And he goes, and then she asks him, "Do you guys hate each other when you fight?" And he goes, "Not at all, ma'am. Not at all." And I think there's a beauty in that when it comes to sport, is that like in this place we get to really like compete with a capital C. And I think that's been the dissatisfaction with this whole papaya bullshit, is that you're not even, this is a place where we get to see that, and you're not letting us see it. So Max is going to come in there and, like Kobe Bryant, be like, no, babe, we're playing for fucking keeps. And it's going to hopefully raise everyone else's level around him. That's what I want to see from this fucking season. This episode's gone on long enough. Any final thoughts, babe? Booby?
No, I think that was beautiful.
Just
Smashing Machine out October 12th. I'm kidding. Live show.
Live show. Get your tickets. Get your fucking tickets. Link
The
is in
good
the
seats are
description.
going fast.
Good seats are going fast, baby. People are sleeping on the mezzanine. I've said it once. I'll say it again. Until Singapore, Venkas.
Goodbye, Vankas.
But before we go, we got to thank our daddies of the pod. Yes, I forgot to do this earlier, which is why I'm a little bit drunk. But I had to thank our daddies because we could not be doing this pod without them. So we got to thank Kayla, Robin, Jordan Texera, Jade Lingle, Spencer Grieve, Javier Mera, Sheila Valeri, Chandler, Ali Santana, Carla, Jorlo, Kimberly, Huelen, Alonso, My Face 69, Donya Denad, Deadbeat Daddy Muhammad, Jimmy, Kimmy, sponsored by Mommy of the Pod, Hollister 584, Delusional Science Fan, Kat, Future Dog Tour Dion, Steph Grossi, JB Fresh, Laura, Emily Gillenwater, Cody Hull is my F1 daddy, Branch W, Keep Up the Signs Hate, Hunter Scruggs, Salmonella Mozzarella, I'm a Leclerc fan, and yes, it hurts. Jay Kess, George Russell is evil Peter Parker from Spider-Man 3. Matt Edwards is always right. I wish I was Max and Danny's love child. Delaney Andrews, Henry Caskey, Miles Lewis Alexander, Maggie B, Kaylee Breyer, Eve the Y, Devin, aka the future Dr. Sullivan's PA, Courtney Frazier, Yuki Tsunoda's other mother. Jenny is the reason I am a daddy. Jen. Come on, baby. No, Jenny is the reason I am a daddy. Shout out to Jenny. Megan, Aaron, Pineapple the Y. Matt has a secret boner for Carlos Sainz. Unfortunately, it's Gary. Carolina. My name is AJ and fuck the HOA. K-Mag can fuck smash my door any day. The official F1 race program and its executive editor, Sarah. I got tickled by the Tifosi. Hey, Jet, good luck out there. Allison Sane, Zhuge, F1 Dude Company, Trent Slickman, Code Brown Sonoda, Jerome Ferreira, Colapinto is a fraud. Aaron, Shahid, Jeans, Rockstar Chohun, Shake and Bake, Gotta Lick My Balls, Stay Fierce, Charles Leclerc, Truth Bringer, Mama Burns, Arthur Leclerc is hotter, Carlos, Science, OP Goblin, Right, Meow, James, DNCTT, Vinny, Daddy, Kev, Not Magnuson, Mike, and Bavi. Of course, honorary daddy this week, every week, Nicole Piastri. We love you, Vanka Nation. We love you, daddies. We love you, Patreon. If you want to become a daddy of the pod, go to patreon.com/TRFpod and join the resistance today.